and welcome to the Monumental Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Q. Here we focus on tapping into our fullest potential to become our best possible selves. Each and every Monumental Monday, we will release a new episode that has a word of the week, as well as a metaphor or phrase for you to incorporate in your daily lives and to get you through your week. If you are a fan of the show, please like, comment, and subscribe to at Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms. This week, I am excited about this word. This word is something that really resonates, and I feel like every leader should definitely be able to have. It is resilience. Resilience simply means the ability to meet adversity, setbacks, or trauma and overcome them or recover from them quickly. Being a resilient leader means a lot. It will help enhance your brand, your company, yourself as a leader, and your team. So, we are going to discuss today some different tips to be a resilient leader. Resilience is one of the things that some people say, oh no, um, I don't really like that word or da 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 da. You know what? I don't care. I don't care if you like it or not. Resilience is important because we're always going to face different challenges, different obstacles, and the goal is to overcome them and keep going. Some people look at those as failure, and that's it. And I'm here to tell you today with these tips, we are not giving up. We are not giving up on our goals. We're not giving up on our dreams. We're not giving up on our team. We're not giving up on meeting the end of the year goals that our organization or our business has. We are going to remain resilient, overcome any obstacle or setback that we may encounter, and we're going to continue to move forward. So, how do you become resilient? Well, one, as a leader, you have to be able to adapt to change. Being a resilient leader means that you will, I'm going to say not may, you pretty much will encounter some kind of adversity, some kind of setback, some kind of thing that you didn't expect, some kind of challenge. And you can't run from those challenges. You have to go through those challenges and you have to adapt accordingly. If you have a business, for example, that is a brick and mortar in this, let's use COVID during this time frame, right? Because this is a wonderful example of resilient leadership. During COVID, there were so many different brick and mortar businesses that had to shut down because everything was closed. And in order to maintain your productivity and in order to maintain your sales, some people did the smart thing and they adapted and started to sell online. They shut down the store. Now it's so many different stores that you don't even see the brick and mortar anymore. Like we had a Babies R Us and a Toys R Us. Those are no longer even a store that you can walk into anymore, but they still sell stuff. They're still thriving, but they thrive online because they adapted to the change. As a resilient leader, you have to be able and willing to adapt and adapt quickly. So that means if you see that there is a challenge or something that's in front of you, you think that when COVID happened, nobody expected that. Nobody expected the world to have to shut down for months at a time. Nobody expected that pandemic to take place. But as a leader of multiple organizations, people had to shift. They had to shift and adapt to the change. Even in the field of medicine, things changed. A lot of people, because you could not go to your doctor's office and doctors ain't want to see you like that anyway because the COVID was real. So they had to shift and they had to change. And that's when you start seeing a lot of the virtual online doctor's appointments. Oh, and guess what else went up? People having to go buy their own blood pressure cuffs and stuff. Here, you have to check your blood pressure while you on the phone or while you on a video with your doctor so that they can see it. And they can tell you, make sure you lift your cuff up a little bit more, make sure your feet are flat on the floor, make sure your arm is relaxed. It was adapting to the change. That's what resilient leaders do. So if you have a setback or an obstacle that you're facing as a leader with your team, adapt and adapt quickly. And it's also going to allow your team to instill more trust in your guidance because don't nobody want to follow no one trick pony. They want to make sure that their leader is able to maneuver and change as the market shifts, as the environment shifts, as different things takes place. As a resilient leader, you have to be willing to follow the shift, take the change, and adapt accordingly. The next thing is, in order to be a resilient leader, some people don't think this is something that you have to do, but I'm going to tell you, you have to take care of your mind. So that means you have to sit back for a second, make sure that you make informed decisions. I did an episode not too far back when I was really giving tips on decision making, and that part two is going to be coming soon on different ways to make informed decisions. But resilient leaders really have to take care of their mind. They have to sit back in stillness sometimes and evaluate the different options in front of them, the long term and short term effects of those decisions that they make, and if it's going to be best for themselves, their team, and their business. So, as a resilient leader myself, whenever I encounter or I face any challenges or obstacles, I think about it for a minute. I sit down. I am an advocate for writing down your thoughts or writing down, making lists. I got a bunch of notebooks and I have a whole lot of lists. So I am an advocate for that. But sitting down, writing down, okay, what is the pros and the cons of this? Okay, if I do it this way, what will happen versus if I do it this way? Let me do my research. Let me see what others in my industry may be doing. Let's see what the trends are looking like. Let's see if I do this 5 years from now, how will this impact my team? A week from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now, looking at that timeline, trying to figure out what's the best option and the best decision to make that would be beneficial for not just me, but for my organization and for my team. As a resilient leader, sit back for a second and take care of your mind. Make sure that you are at peace with the decisions that you're making. Even though your stomach may be a little nervous because you don't know what's going to happen next, at least you know that you did your due diligence and you thought it through properly to make the best and most effective decision. Now, I will tell you this. Sometimes as leaders, we make a mistake and we have to be willing to own that. Nothing makes me more irritated than somebody who does not have accountability for their actions. If I did something and I made a mistake, my bad. I apologize. I thought that was the right option at that time. I thought I was making the right decision at that time. If it wasn't the right decision, I apologize. Let's go back to the drawing board. That's what resilient leaders do. That's what accountable leaders do too. So we would definitely hit accountability as a leader because we are not pointing the fingers at people. We are taking responsibility for our actions and we are accountable for our decisions. That's what resilient leaders do. And then the next thing is resilient leaders are optimistic. First of all, don't nobody want to be around no Debbie Downer, okay? No negative Nancy. We don't want that. No, we want to be around optimistic people. As a resilient leader, you have to be optimistic, of what the results are going to be. If you think stuff is going to go bad, 90% of the time it's going to go bad. If you wake up thinking you're about to have a horrible day, you will likely have a horrible day. But if you wake up and you say, today is going to be an amazing day, I'm going to be very productive, I'm going to get things done, everything is going to go how I want it to go. When I go to the grocery store, I'm going to get a nice park. All of that stuff happens because you're optimistic about it. You're looking at the bright side. If you only look at the bad side, you will only see the bad. So, in order to be an effective and resilient leader, you have to be optimistic. Realize that this is the best option. That's why you do your research. That's why you do your due diligence with looking and before you make those decisions. And you're optimistic about it. I feel like this is the best possible option, and this is why. That's what resilient leaders do. And the next thing is this. And I love this example, so I'm going to tell you. I was over, or I am over another group of individuals that work for my organization that I work for, my 9 to 5. I am over a group of professionals, and we are working on a new project, and they were brought in for this new project. Now, mind you, this new project is new for all of us. So what I told my team is this: when we first started, we had our very first meeting. I said, listen, this is going to be a learning opportunity and a learning curve for all of us. I do not know all the answers, and I'm going through this training with you. If I do not know the answers that you ask me if for a question, I will figure it out and I will get the answer back to you. So don't feel stressed or like things don't make sense, because we are going through this together. We are learning this together, and we will overcome any obstacles or challenges together. And guess what? We did, and we have a successful program up and running. And if there's any questions or concerns, they can ask me. But being transparent and understanding that as a leader, you don't know it all. And if you feel like you already know it all, then you already failing as a leader, because leaders have a growth mindset. We're always looking to grow and to develop and to figure something else out, learn something new. If you already feel like you know it all, then what are we doing? What are we doing? You don't know it all. If you thought you knew, I'm here to tell you today, you don't know it all. And it's okay to state that and to say that as a leader. I am learning, I am growing, I am evolving. This is something that we are going to get through together. Any challenges that we face, we will overcome them. Any obstacles, we will overcome them. They will be stepping stones on our journey to success, because it is okay. We will now transition into part 2 of our show. Our metaphor or phrase this week is absolutely amazing. I came up with this with someone, one of my good friends and confidants and guides, who I just talk to, and we bounce ideas off each other. And she's absolutely amazing. And we were talking, and I was just telling her about failure. And I'm like, people look at failure as that's it. Like, oh, you faced a challenge, you faced an obstacle, you didn't succeed the first time. Oh, you just want to give up. And when we were talking, we were just vibing. It was like, no. So our quote for this week is going to go hand in hand with resilience. And that is, failure is success trying to get your attention. Failure is success trying to get your attention. Why is that? Most of the time when you face a failure, a obstacle, an adversity, a setback, it's giving you the guide on what not to do the next time. It's a learning opportunity. So failure is just success trying to get your attention. It's telling you, oh no, you don't go that way, you go this way. Oh, okay, you fail when you turn right. So this time, turn left. That is what that quote means. And that is what really resonates. And that is what I really enjoy about overcoming adversity, being resilient, and moving forward as a leader. Because that's what leaders do. We are resilient. We are not stopping. It's can't stop, won't stop. We are going steadfast, overcoming whatever we may face. So make sure that you are adapting to change, adapting to the environment. Make sure that you are taking care of your mind and making informed decisions, not just for yourself, but for your organization and your team. Make sure that you are being optimistic on the outcomes of your decisions. And lastly, if you don't know it all, which you don't, make sure that you inform them, inform your team, and inform yourself that it's okay. It's okay to have a setback. It's okay to have a challenge, because it's just failure. It's just success trying to get your attention. It's telling you, it's giving you the right roadmap on what to do next time. So that's it. If you are a fan of the show, please like, comment, and subscribe to Dr. Q the Coach on all social media platforms. This was an amazing, amazing episode. I really love the conversation about being a resilient leader, because this is something that we really need to have, and this is something that leaders really need to show our teams as well. Like, oh, we messed up over here, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and do it again. And always having that evolving and growing mindset. So always remember that the sky is not the limit, because there are footprints on the moon. And I will see you next week. Peace.